Hi everyone, welcome to the show. Anyway, talk about William Garretson's testimony in the Manson case tonight. And of course, Garretson was Altobelli's houseboy, there to care for his dogs while he was away. And Stephen Parent visited him that night, the night of the murders at Cielo Drive. And he claims to have heard nothing, but no one believes him and think he's lying out of fear, or he ran off during the crimes and returned later. And recently, rumours about Cary Grant being up at the house that night have been resurfacing, and that he was with Garretson, and that they fled together, and Grant returned later and moved his car. That's another rumour about Garretson as well. And yeah, and sorry about the lack of streams recently. I've had computer problems. It turns out the charger for my laptop isn't the standard one for the brand, so I had to search for the right charger. So that's why I wasn't streaming. But it made me make more clip videos, basically. So yeah, and premieres. I'm going to start premiering the new clip videos, and this just basically means you get a notification, and countdown plays. Well, there's a chat, and we all watch the video together after the countdown. Basically, that's what a premiere is, a YouTube premiere, but it's a new video. And yeah, I did a few last week, and a few of you came to them. Thank you to everyone that came to the premieres. But yeah, it's really good for the channel as it helps the videos get more views in the long run. And I've got 2 coming up next week, Tuesday and Thursday. So I've done clips of all the articles about Tom Harrigan and Pick Dawson from the Canadian stream. So yeah, come to them if you can. So it really helps the channel, obviously. Yeah. And so yeah, I'll just chat now. And obviously there'll be chapters in the description. So if you just want to get to where I read about his testimony, you can go in the chapters. I'll just talk to everyone for a minute. Hi there, everyone. Anyway, yes. Hello, Danny. Yeah, I saw people were already talking about this in the before the stream even started. People were in the chat talking about it. Yeah, loads of things are going to come up about the doors. He talks about how many doors there are, and yeah, well, I don't want to spoil it. I'll wait until I'll read it out. But yeah, stuff about doors, and I'll probably take a break several times, and I can show you some of the pictures. Oh, and a picture comes up as well. My dedicated followers will remember the stream where I thought there was a picture of the inside of Jay's car, but it's not. It's Stephen Parent's car. Well, that picture is actually from Garretson's thing, so I'll be able to show you the pictures as Bugliosi is talking. Some of them not, but the pictures that Bugliosi is talking about from those evidence boxes. So that brings it to life a bit more. And I'm also reading this from charlesmanson.com. Because the transcripts, though it is available, is really, really difficult to read. So it's easier to just read it. But this is accurate, how he's transcribed it. And yeah, and he gets cross-examined by Fitzgerald. And they say they're going to call him back, but he never comes back. You never see anything else from him, unless the volume's missing where they got him back. But yeah. But yeah, there's all sorts. Comes up. But yeah, obviously, as you already know, he says he didn't hear anything, which just seems really strange, doesn't it? And in Paulcast group, I don't know how many of you are in the Paulcast Facebook group, but I think it's Paul himself posted a picture of where the sound reports were coming from and how far away they were from Cielo Drive, and people were hearing stuff, and he claims he heard nothing from from the guest house. And yeah, but it gets even crazier when you hear what he says. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, I will get to reading it out, so we've got something to discuss. Right, William Garretson's testimony. State of California versus Charles Manson, Los Angeles, California, July 26, 1970. William Garretson called as a witness by and on behalf of the people and was examined and testified as follows. Direct examination by Mr. Bugliosi. Where do you presently reside, Mr. Garretson? In Lancashire, Ohio. You just flew out here for the trial? Yes. Are you married, sir? Is this on the screen? So we've got to check. Yes, it is. Hold on. Yes. When did you get married? July 4th. Of this year? Yes. Have you ever lived at the address 10050 Cielo Drive in the city of Los Angeles? Yes. During what period of time did you live at that address? In mid-March until the incident occurred. You say mid-March, you mean mid-March 1969? Yes. Until when, sir? Until in August. Do you know the date in August? August 9th. Can you see the diagram, People's 8, from where you are seated, sir? Yes. Does this appear to be where you lived on the premises? Where? Is this called the guest house? Yes, it is. May I mark this guest house, Your Honour? The Court, you may. Were you employed on the premises? Yes, I was. By whom were you employed? By Mr. Altobelli. Rudi Altobelli? Yes. Did he own the premises as far as you know? Yes. What were your duties out there on the premises? To take care of 3 dogs. Were these Mr. Altobelli's dogs? Yes, they were. What kind of dogs were they? A Weimaraner and 2 poodles. In addition to caring for Mr. Altobelli's dogs, did you have any other duties? No, I did not. Did anyone else live with you in the guest house? No. You lived there by yourself? Yes. Do you remember the day, August 8th, 1969, a Friday? Yes. Do you recall what you did that day? Yes, I do. Would you please relate the chronology of what happened that day? Well, I usually get up around 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Mr. Fitzgerald. Objection, Your Honour. The answer is non-responsive. We are not interested in what the witness usually did. The Court. Sustained. Do you believe you arose around 1 p.m. on that date, sir? Yes. Do you recall what you did that afternoon? I think I was laying out in the sun. I'm not sure. I went down. I'm not sure. I usually do different things every day. You don't particularly recall this particular afternoon, is that right? No. Do you recall what you did that evening, August 8th, 1969, a Friday? Yes. What did you do that evening? Around 8 p.m, I went down to Sunset Boulevard. How did you get there? Hitchhiked. All right. What happened when you got down to Sunset Boulevard? I purchased a TV dinner and some cigarettes and some Pepsi Cola. You'll have to talk up, Mr. Garretson. Yes. What happened after you made those purchases? I decided to go back to the guest cottage where I lived. How did you get back? Hitchhiked. About what time did you arrive? Around 10 p.m. When you returned at approximately 10 p.m, did you see anyone about the premises? No, sir, I did not. How did you enter the premises at 10 p.m? Through the gate here as depicted in the diagram? Yes. How did you open the gate? You had to push a button right before you get to the gate. It would be on the left side. Is the button near the telephone pole where I'm pointing now? Yes, yes. And this would activate the gate and open it, is that correct? Yes. How long would the gate stay open? Would you have to close it or would it automatically close? No, I would say about 15 to 20 seconds, something like that. When you arrived back at the premises, did you notice any telephone wires on top of the gate or on the ground or anything like that? No. Did everything seem to be in order? Yes. How did you get from the gate to the guest house? What route did you take? I would have to come through the parking lot. This area right here? Yes. All right. And then I would have to... It's more to the right. Down here? Yes. I noticed there is a little walk right here. Yes. Is this the walk you took back to the guest house? Yes. In other words, you did not cross over the lawn area in front of the Polanski residence? No. Did you hear any noise coming from inside the Polanski residence as you walked to the guest house? No, I did not. Did you pay any particular attention to whether there was noise or not? No. You were not concerned? No. Do you recall if there were any lights inside the Polanski residence? No, I don't. As you walked by? No. Again, did you pay any particular attention to that? No. Did you see any cars parked in the driveway? Yes, I seen Miss Folger's Firebird. What colour was that? Yellow with a black vinyl top. Mr. Bugliosi, Your Honour, I have here a photograph of 3 cars. May it be marked People's next in order. The Clerk, 16, Your Honour. The Court, it will be so marked. Mr. Bugliosi, People's 16 for identification. The Court, yes. Question, I show you People's 16 for identification and I haven't got that picture. Do you see Miss Folger's car depicted in that photograph? Yes, right here. The yellow one? Yes. Now you notice there appears to be a black Porsche marked on the left of that Firebird. Do you know who owned that? Yes, Mr. Sebring owned that car. You knew J. Sebring? No. Had you ever seen him before? No. Had you seen him on the premises? From a distance maybe, but that would be all. You had seen him on or about the premises? No. From a distance, you know. I mean, the Porsche was out there, you know. Usually sometimes at night, you know. And sometimes in the afternoon. I did not know who he was or anything. Directing your attention to People's 2 for identification, do you know who is shown in this photograph? Yes. Who is that? J. Sebring. This is the person you saw from a distance on the premises. I couldn't say. Does he appear to resemble this man? Yes. Did you have any visitors that night in your guest house? Yes, I did. Who was that? Stephen Parent. What time did Mr. Parent arrive? Around 11:45 p.m.? Yes. Just before midnight? Yes. Did he arrive by himself? Yes, he did. Did you invite him? No. He came unannounced? Yes. Had you known Mr. Parent prior to this occasion? Yes. Would you briefly explain your acquaintanceship with him? Well, 2 weeks before the incident happened, he gave me a ride up Sunset to the house where I lived. In other words, you were hitchhiking? Yes. And he picked you up and drove you home, is that correct? Yes. This is the only other time that you have seen him prior to this evening? Yes. I show you People's 5 for identification. A photograph of a young boy and girl? Yes. Who is that? Steve Parent. What was the nature of Parent's visit to you? He brought a radio with him, a clock radio, and he wanted to know if I would like to buy the one he had, or buy one that he could get, you know. He worked in an appliance place or something that dealt with radios and stereos. Did you buy the radio from him? No. I take it that he eventually left your guest house? Yes, he made a phone call, though, before he left. About what time did he make a phone call? About 12 a.m. Do you know whom he called? No, a friend down on Santa Monica Boulevard. Did he take the radio with him when he left? Yes. Your Honour, I have here another photograph of the interior of a car. May it be marked as People 17 for identification? It will be so marked. I will show you People 17 for identification, Mr. Garretson, and draw your attention to the passenger side of the car. There appears to be an object on the seat. Do you recognise what that object is? Yes. Right, so you can see that, and you can actually see the stereo on the seat if you look closely, but this is actually the photo. Yes, what is it? I think it's the clock radio he brought with him. Does it appear to resemble the radio? Yes. That Mr. Parent tried to sell you? Yes. How long did Mr. Parent stay? About half an hour. Excuse me. He left about 15 minutes after midnight. Is that what you are saying? Yes. That would be then early Saturday morning then, August 9th, 1969. Is that correct? Yes. What did you do after Mr. Parent left? I wrote a few letters and listened to the stereo. Okay, did you eventually fall asleep? No. Did you fall asleep at all? No. I was going to make a phone call just before dawn. Did you make the phone call? No. Why not? The line was dead. I mean, not the line, the phone was dead. When Mr. Parent made the phone call, did you hear him talking to anyone on the other end of the line? I couldn't hear the other people, no. Did you hear Mr. Parent talking? Yes. Did he appear to be carrying on a conversation? Yes. When you called around dawn, you said the line was dead, is that correct? Yes. Did this frighten you at all? Yes. Did you do anything about it? No, I figured because I had trouble with the phone. I had trouble with the phone about a month prior. Mr. Shin moved to strike the last portion of his answer as not responsive. The court. The motion is granted. The answer is stricken. Did you fall asleep around dawn at all? Yes. But throughout the night you were awake? Yes. Listening to your stereo? Yes. And writing letters? Did you hear any gunshots during the night? No. Did you hear any loud screams during the night? No. Did you hear any loud noises of any kind whatsoever? No, I didn't. How loud were you playing your stereo? It was about medium, something like that. It wasn't very loud, it was just enough so that I could hear it. Well, if you were in another room of your guest house, could you have heard it? Faintly. You had it on about medium, is that correct? Yes. Do you have a volume control on that stereo? Excuse me. Yes. Is there a 4 on the volume control? Yes, there is. Do you recall whether it was on 4 during the night? No, it may have been. It may have been, yes. Mr. Bugliosi, I have here another photograph, Your Honour, showing a portion of a residence. May it be marked People's 18 for identification. Right, I'm just going to take a quick break there for a second, so I don't get tired reading. Right, and yeah, just unpack some of what he said there anyway. So what were people saying in the chat? But yeah, I noticed as well, he said that he saw Sebring a few times, but Winifred Chapman denies him being a regular guest there. So they contradict each other there. Garretson says he'd seen Sebring there before. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that means either. Not responsive. Yeah. But he says something about there was trouble with the phone before, doesn't he? Yeah, and they didn't want that on the record for some reason. So yeah. That's another weird one. Sorry, if we look up through the chat quickly. Yeah, and well, like I say, yeah, him saying he heard nothing. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, he's seen Miss Folger's Firebird. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. A mine of information, and I can't believe that. Yeah, he says he couldn't hear anything, and yeah, well, it gets even crazier in a bit. Yeah, and he says his music was only on medium as well, and he wasn't wearing headphones because I've heard people say he was using headphones to listen to music, and that's why he didn't hear anything. But he doesn't say he was wearing headphones. He just says he was yeah, listening to music. On about number 4, about medium. Yeah. Right, and I can get into the pictures again. Yeah. Yeah, did Mr. Altobelli employ you for booty time? Yeah. No, he says he was just looking after the dogs. That was all he was there to do. Yeah. Well, the pool backs onto the house, doesn't it? And the photos, I haven't shown you the photos yet, have I? But I'm about to show you the photos that are taken from the pool, showing you the guest house. So not that far. It's behind the house, but not that far. Yeah. That's why it's so weird. He didn't hear anything. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, sorry about the delay in streams, but that was just because I couldn't get a proper charger. And yeah, I'm going through a busy period as well, so I can't really do as many streams as I used to do. But I will try and keep streaming at least every 2 weeks or whatever. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't notice any. I haven't gone all the way through the transcript. The transcript is really hard to read. But yeah, I'll have to check, but I'm not sure. That's it. Yeah. Because yeah, I noticed there was Winifred Chapman. Yeah. Right, I'll get on with reading this. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. I show you people's 18 for identification, Mr. Garretson. Do you know what is shown in that photograph? Yes. What is shown in that photograph? It is just a walk down before you get to the guest house. Looking at the photograph, do you have any impression as to where the photograph was taken from? Somewhere by the pool. By the pool of the Polanski residence? Yes. Facing the guest house. So this shows a portion of the guest house. Is that correct? Yes, it does. This is where you stayed? Yes. I show you people's 19 for identification. Do you know what is shown in that photograph? What is shown in that photograph? The guest cottage. I show you people's 20 for identification. Do you know what is depicted in that photograph? Yes, what is shown here? The porch of the guest cottage. Try to speak up a little more loudly, sir. I show you people's 21 for identification. Do you know what is shown in that photograph? Yes, it's the living room in the guest cottage. Now, when you're up during the night listening to the stereo and writing letters, were you in the living room? Yes. Throughout the night? Yes. There appears to be a white sheet over it. Wait a second. Have I changed the picture for you? I haven't, have I? Right, yeah, let me get to the picture for you, sorry. Okay, you can see the sheet on the thing there, on the sofa. I see a couch with a white sheet over it. Were you on the couch at all during the night that you have been testifying about? Yes, I was. That is where I stayed the night. What, the stereo was on? Were you on when the stereo was on? Were you on the couch? Yes. Approximately how far is the couch from the door? 6 feet. About 6 feet. Yes. I show you people's 22 for identification. Do you know what is shown in that photograph? Yes, that's a living room in the guest cottage. Another photograph of the living room. Is that correct? Yes. I show you people's 23 for identification. Do you know what is shown in that photograph? Yes, it's another picture of the living room. Will you please step down from the witness stand, sir, just temporarily, and indicate where in the living room the stereo was? Right here. Your Honour, may I put an X there and mark it stereo? Yes. Would you indicate, sir, on the diagram where the couch was in relation to that stereo? Right here. May I put another X and mark it couch, Your Honour? Yes. You may resume the witness stand, sir. These 3 dogs that you took care of for Mr. Altobelli, where were they that night? They were staying with me in the living room. Did they leave the house at all during the night, or did they stay with you the entire night? Yes, I had the back door open on the patio by the stereo. Right, so the back door was open. He's saying he had the back door open. The dogs could just walk in and out. Did they leave during the night, or did they stay with you inside the living room? Well, the Weimaraner left, the larger dog. About what time? I can't pronounce the name myself. What time did that dog leave? I couldn't say. Was it shortly after Mr. Parent left? No. Later on in the early morning hours? Yes. Did he come back? Yes. He wasn't gone long? No. The other 2 dogs stayed inside the living room? Yes. Did the dogs bark at all during the night? No. Did they bark any more than usual that night? They usually did bark, during the night. It was nothing, to be alarmed about, nothing or anything. You didn't find them to be barking any more that night? No. At least not to alarm you? No. Did they appear to bark at all shortly after Stephen Parent left the guest house, if you recall? I can't recall. Did they bark when Mr. Parent arrived that night? Yes, at about 11:45 p.m. Yes, they did. Would they normally bark when you had a visitor? Yes. If you recall, would they normally commence their barking? How far would the visitor be from the guest house when they started to bark? They would start to barking when it would be about 6 seconds before the visitor would come to the door. In other words, there would be an interlude of about 6 seconds between the time you heard the dogs bark and the time that the person knocked on your door. Is that correct? Yes. Did the dogs ever bark when the visitor was entering the gate of the Tate residence? I really couldn't say. All you can say is that they normally barked about 6 seconds before the visitor arrived. Is that correct? Yes. I take it, sir, you were arrested Saturday morning for these murders. Is that correct? Yes. Were you sleeping at the time that the police arrived, or had you already awakened? Yes, I was sleeping. What woke you up, the police or the dogs? No, the dogs. About what time was it? 10:30, 11 o'clock, somewhere around there? In the morning? Yes. How long were you in custody? 2 days. And then you were released from custody? Yes. Did you know anything at all about these murders? No. After you were released from custody, what did you do? A week after that, I returned to Ohio, my hometown. And you have been there ever since? Yes. Do you know of any of the defendants in this case? Defendants Charles Manson, Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Leslie Van Houten? No. Have you ever seen them prior to today? No. Have you ever met anyone who said that they knew either one of these defendants? Mr. Canarak, I object on the grounds of hearsay, Your Honour. The court, sustained. Have you ever heard of Spahn Movie Ranch? No. Mr. Canarak, object, Your Honour, on the grounds that it is leading and suggestive. The court, overruled. You have heard of the Spahn Movie Ranch, or you haven't heard of the Spahn Movie Ranch? I haven't. Mr. Canarak, it is immaterial. I suppose a lot of people has. He has no connection with these proceedings. He says he doesn't know the defendants. It does nothing but clutter up the record and make the case perhaps longer than 6 months. The court, overruled. Question. I forget, sir, what your answer was. No. You have never been to the Spahn Movie Ranch? No. And after you testify in this case, you intend to return to Lancaster, sir? Yes. And your wife? Yes. No further questions, Your Honour. Cross-examination, Mr. Fitzgerald? Mr. Fitzgerald, thank you, Your Honour. Right, and I'll take a break for a second there. Right. So, yeah. That's crazy, isn't it? He had the door open the whole time, so Krenwinkel didn't have to try the door handle. The door was open. And he says the dog went out at about 2 a.m. and barked and came back in. But, yeah. God, excuse me. So there's a bit of my tea there. Yeah. 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 The 2 non-barking poodles. And is that the bit where he said that the dog bit the policeman in the leg? No, I think that's when Fitzgerald's cross-examining him. Yeah, Fitzgerald cross-examines him in a minute. Yeah, apparently the dog bit one of the policemen, and they were pointing a rifle at him. I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Well, could he not hear anything? This is why a lot of people think that he fled with whether people believe that Cary Grant was there or not, who knows? But yeah, that's an old rumor, and it comes originally from Cary Grant's manager, apparently. Yeah, crazy. Oh yeah, I've got a new lantern as well. Look, he doesn't show up very well on the stream. You can't see his face very well. Look, there is a face painted on it though. Yeah. Yeah, and the pumpkin cups are getting better every year that they sell in this country. Yeah. Yeah, the windows face the pool, and there's no curtains on the windows. I wonder why. It's the kind of house it was, wasn't it? Yeah. Sorry, just gotta look at the chat. I can't see the chat when I'm reading stuff out. Yeah, the door was open and he didn't react and he didn't hear anything. And also this about Krenwinkel walking up and trying the door handle. She didn't have to try the door handle. The door was open. So what, did she just stand in the doorway and not go in? It just makes it all sound even less probable, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, the guest house is the nicer house, the better furnished house. I think that's where Rudi Altobelli actually lived, wasn't it? And he let out the main house. Yeah. Yeah, the main house was for the cocaine orgies, yeah. 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 No better. Yes, hello everyone. Thank you for coming. We've got 87 people here. Channel certainly needs the views. And like I say, the premieres are happening Tuesday and Thursday night. It'll be midnight, so the same time the stream starts wherever you are on a Sunday night, but just on Tuesday and Thursday. And they're only short. They'll only be about 10 minutes long. And it's not a stream, it's just the video plays and there's a chat and we can all talk to each other. Gives us a chance to interact with each other, doesn't it? Yes, and don't forget to like the video if you're watching this and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Yeah, this is the interview where Nicholas talks about that, and also, yeah, he mentions me. He didn't say the channel name though, does he? He just says my name. Yeah. Yeah, one of the most interesting mysteries of the whole case. Where was Garretson? You think he and Cary Grant were socialising and heard some screaming, and Grant lived close by and they ran off down the trails, yeah. That's it. Well, that's what they say, yeah. I think that Garretson, the reason they didn't find him was because he fled. But then why did he go back? Why was he there in the morning? Why didn't he stay away? Why didn't he run away and not go back? That's what doesn't make sense about that. Unless they had to go back to shift Cary Grant's car. But from what Nicholas was saying, the car was still there when the police arrived, and the police allowed him to move his car. Because there is a newspaper article saying some of the close neighbours had 3 cars leaving at 2 a.m. So that could have been Cary Grant moving his car then, you know. But from what Nicholas was saying, the car was still there in the morning, and the police just let him move it because they realised he wasn't. They thought he wasn't involved. Probably got paid off or whatever, didn't they? Yeah. 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 He said he could only hear the stereo faintly. Yeah. If he moved into another room, so the stereo wasn't even up that loud. Yeah. Wait to hear what he was listening to as well. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. It seems like they would have checked the guest house, but the back door is wide open. That's it. He left. I don't think that if the door was wide open, they wouldn't have walked around the guest house and checked if anyone was in there and got him, basically. So I don't. Yeah, I think that he ran off somewhere and he's lying about it, or he hid somewhere and is just lying to protect his own skin. He doesn't want to say he saw anything because he's so scared of these people or whatever. But I personally think he ran away. Yeah. Yeah. They didn't run out when Gibby got killed outside. Yeah, if the door was open as well, yeah. Where were the dogs? And when I was reading out Susan's testimony, Susan suddenly comes out when she looks out the window and she saw a dog while the murders were happening inside the house. She remembers seeing a dog. So yeah, it is weird. Yeah, the dogs didn't react to people getting stabbed on the lawn outside and all this sort of shit. Yeah, isn't it? But he says that they barked at 2 a.m. which is when people heard cars leaving as well. Yeah, that's it. Surely, they would have barked if. But Garretson said he didn't. But dogs' ears are even more sensitive, aren't they? So presumably the dogs would have had the shots. Yeah. Yeah, what he heard probably scared the shit out of him, and he went and hid somewhere. Yeah, I think he probably ran off. Excuse me, whether down the drive or down the back trails. Right, and I'm going to carry on reading. Right, so we're getting to him being cross-examined by Fitzgerald. Mr. Garretson, do you recall having a conversation with officers of the Los Angeles Police Department on or about August 10th, 1969 at Parker Center, which is located at 150 North Los Angeles Street in the city of Los Angeles? Yes. Mr. Bugliosi, object, Your Honor, this is beyond the scope of the direct examination. So, just checking something. Well, I think it may be a good objection, but it is premature. Overruled. In the presence of Lieutenant A.H. Burdick. Well, let's take it step by step. You were arrested, correct? Yes. So does that white bar mean something's missing? Maybe he means something was missing in the transcript. Yes. Was that Saturday, August the 9th, 1969? Yes, it was. The next day was a Sunday, August 10th. Isn't that right? Yes. When you were originally arrested, you were taken to the West Los Angeles Division of the Los Angeles Police Department, were you not? Yes, I was. And you were questioned at that time, were you not? Yes. And you were then transported later that afternoon, Saturday afternoon, downtown to the main Los Angeles Police Department, correct? Yes, in the evening. Commonly referred to as the Glass House. Are you familiar with that term? Yes. The next afternoon, at approximately 4:25 in the afternoon, did you have a conversation with some police officers? That is a question that can be answered yes or no. You mean when I was released? All right, when were you released? Monday afternoon. What about the day before, Sunday afternoon, at 4:25 in the afternoon? Yes. Did you have a conversation with some police officers? Yes. And your attorney, Barry Tarlow, was present? Yes. Were you asked about dogs barking at that time, if you recall? Mr. Bugliosi, I object, Your Honour, on 2 grounds. It calls for hearsay and is beyond the scope of the direct examination. The court overruled. You may answer that. I forgot the question. The court, read the question. Whereupon the reporter reads the pending question as follows. Where were you asked about the dogs barking at the time, if you recall? I cannot recall. Police officers asked you about what you had heard or seen Friday night and on Saturday morning, August 8th and 9th? Yes. Didn't they? Yes. May we approach the bench, Your Honour? Yes. The following proceedings were had at the bench out of the hearing of the jury. Mr. Fitzgerald, by way of an offer of proof, I am in possession of what purports to be a transcript of an interview with Mr. Garretson at 4:25 p.m. on August 10th, 1969, where this witness was asked about the events that took place on August 8th and 9th. He stated, in connection with questions about dogs barking, that it was about 2 or 3 hours after he left, referring to Stephen Parent. Somewhere around there. That is when I looked out in the yard. There is a cement platform where you walk into the guest house. I submit to the court that impeaches his direct testimony and would seem to establish that the dogs, he seemed on his direct examination to be unclear as to when he heard certain dogs barking. The importance of the dogs barking is that they may signal or herald the arrival on the scene of the persons who perpetrated the events. Mr. Bugliosi suggested I approach the bench before I ask the impeaching question. Mr. Bugliosi, the reason I did not think it was impeaching is that the witness said they did bark that night. He said they barked, but nothing out of the ordinary. The court, what part do you claim impeaches him? Mr. Fitzgerald, that it was 2 or 3 hours after Parent left that he heard the dogs barking. How does that impeach him? I don't find anything inconsistent. I think you have the right to go into it if there is any possibility of impeaching. This is cross-examination. You can ask him if he said that, and let the jury decide whether it impeaches him or not. I would request this, Your Honour. Instead of his posture being that of an impeachment, I would request... He is not going to use the word impeachment. He is going to ask him if he said it, Mr. Bugliosi. I would request as a foundational question that you ask him again for clarification if the dogs barked that night. Mr. Fitzgerald, very well. Mr. Bugliosi, okay, Mr. Fitzgerald. Certainly, I will do that. The following proceedings were had in open court in the presence and hearing of the jury. One of the dogs you were caring for, Mr. Garretson, was named Christopher. Is that correct? Yes. What one of the dogs, or which one of the dogs? The larger one. On the evening or the early morning hours of August 13th, after Stephen Parent left your residence, don't know if that's a mistake, I think, did you hear Christopher barking? I could not really say. Isn't it a fact that you heard Christopher barking loudly approximately 2 or 3 hours after Mr. Parent left your home? Yes. So you did hear Christopher barking, isn't that correct? That he barked, I mean generally, but I mean any night he would generally bark. His barking then was not extraordinary or unusual in any respect. I could not really say. I could not distinguish if he was barking any louder than he generally was any other night. Did you consider these dogs, bearing in mind your experience with them, as watchdogs of any sort? Sort of. Did it appear to you when Christopher barked 2 or 3 hours after Stephen Parent left that the dog was indicating to you that somebody had arrived on the premises? Mr. Bugliosi, that calls for a conclusion, Your Honour. The court sustained. You testified on your direct examination, I believe, that the dogs used to bark when people would come to the residence. Isn't that correct? Yes. And that there was about a 6-second delay between the time the dogs barked and the guests arrived. Is that correct? Yes. When you heard the dogs, Christopher, bark 2 or 3 hours after Stephen Parent left, was it your state of mind that a guest was arriving on the premises? No. You did not think that it was unusual or peculiar? No. You did not sleep at any time during the night? No. And you heard nothing unusual or peculiar? No. You did not hear any shots or anything like that? No. Have you ever heard gunshot? Have you ever heard a gunshot? Yes. Are you familiar with a 22 caliber pistol? Rifles? Have you ever heard a 22 caliber rifle fired? Yes. Did you hear anything like that on the evening of the 8th or the early morning hours of the 9th? No. Did you hear any screams or hollers or yells that evening? No. What was the weather like on the evening of the 8th? Do you recall? It wasn't raining or anything. I think it was a clear night. I'm not sure. When you went out earlier in the evening, you went down to Turner's drugstore, right? Yes. You bought a TV dinner, right? Yes. And you hitchhiked back, right? Yes. You hitchhiked down Sunset Boulevard, right? Yes. Then you hitchhiked up Benedict Canyon, right? I'm not sure. Did you walk up Cielo Drive? Yes. And it winds around, doesn't it? Yes. Did you enter through the gate, or did you enter through Bella Drive? Yes, it's Cielo. You consider them the same? Yes. Did you walk by the main house when you walked back to the guest house? You mean from on the front lawn? Yes. No. How do you walk? Around the walk to the guest house. It's in front, way in front, is the guest house. I mean the main house. You did not walk by the main house? No. You did not look in the window of the main house? No. You were carrying something in your hand, right? Yes. You were carrying a carton of Coca-Cola in one hand. Not a carton, a bottle. And you had a TV dinner in the other. Yes, well, they were in a sack. In a sack. Were you wearing a jacket? I'm not sure. I really could not say. Did you own a jacket at that time? Yes. You don't recall whether it was chilly out or not, do you? Did you say a chilly TV dinner? Mr. Stovett said. Do you recall it being brisk, or did it appear to be a typical August evening? Yes. Did you have your windows open in the guest house? I really don't know. Did you normally have the windows open in the guest house? I never opened them. Is the guest house air conditioned? No. Do you recall whether the windows in the guest house were open or closed on the evening of the 8th? No, it had shutters. Now there are 4 entrances to the guest house, correct? Yes. Which entrance did you use when you came back with your TV dinner? The one by the patio. I mean the porch. You get into the porch, then the patio. With the permission of the court, counsel stated we can mark that. Is that the entrance here? Yes. I will put a number 1 on Exhibit B for identification. Very well. Is that the entrance you customarily use for ingress and egress? Yes. Do you recall what you were listening to in the guest house on the stereo? Yes, some records. Do you recall what the records were? The words and the mamas and papas. No, wait a minute. Mama Cass and the Doors. So he was listening to Mama Cass and the Doors. I saw you all in the chat before I even started talking about the Doors. He was listening to the Doors that night, apparently. Now, are you familiar with the acoustics at 10050 Cielo Drive? I don't understand the question. All right, the acoustics. Have you ever heard people talking in the vicinity of the pool area? No. You have swum in the pool, haven't you? Yes. And you talked over there, correct? I mean, conversations with other people, maybe a few friends of mine. But I'm not talking about any particular conversation. Have you heard people talking, just one another in the vicinity of the pool? Not necessarily did you hear any particular conversation. We could hear them talking. I don't understand what you mean. All right, from the guest house, yes. If you were standing at the door that you usually go in and out of, could you hear people in the area of the pool? No. Can you hear people swimming or anything? No. Is there some reason for that, so far as you know? No. And you can hear the dogs when they bark outside, though, can't you? They are usually inside when they are barking. At the time, on the 8th or 9th, did you look out the guest house in the direction of the main house? No. And Mr. Parent left your house at approximately 12:45, is that right? 12:15 a.m. 12:15, yes. He arrived at 11:45, yes. And he left at 12:15, yes. And from 12:15 until 4:30 or 5, you did what? Writing letters and listening to the stereo. Who were you going to call? The time. You didn't have a watch or clock. All the clocks were wound up. No electric clocks in the guest house. And they didn't keep accurate time. Well, they kept accurate time if I would wind them up. Did you neglect to wind them? I didn't wind them. No, I didn't wind them up. When you discovered the lion was dead, or it sounded dead when you put it to your ear, did you attempt to investigate the cause of the disorder? No, I went to the bedroom and got another phone and plugged it into the wall. And what happened then? It didn't work. Did you investigate the cause or no? Attempt to investigate? No. Did you go outside and look around? No. What time was it that you actually went to bed, or went to sleep, that is? I couldn't really say, but it was just before daybreak. And did Christopher wake you up? Yes. All 3 dogs were inside the guest house that night, is that right? Yes. Did you say anything to Christopher when he started to bark and wake you up? I told him to be quiet. Well, then he started barking. You know, I told him to shut up, and then I looked up and there was a policeman outside in the patio, pointing a rifle at me by the picnic table. What did you do then? I didn't know what to do. What happened next? Another one came and pointed another rifle, and then another one, and he was pointing a pistol, and he kicked in the door, and Christopher bit him on the leg. What happened to Christopher? I told him to stop it. What happened next? Well, then they dragged me out onto the patio and threw me down on my stomach, and I asked them what was wrong, and he told me to shut up, and they would show me. Were you shown? Yes. What were you shown? 2 bodies on the front lawn and 1 in the car. Now, Mr. Parent came to the guest house. Did you engage in some conversations? Did he talk to you, in other words? Yes. Without telling me what he said, did Mr. Parent ask you, well, without telling me the nature, what was said in the conversation? Did you have a discussion with Mr. Parent about what was going on in the main house? No. Did Mr. Parent engage in a conversation with you about the identity of the 2 women within the main house? I believe he asked me who... Did you have a conversation with him about that? He asked me what... You can just answer that yes or no. Yes. Yes, right? Yes. Your Honour and Counsel, I have some matters that are properly beyond the scope of direct examination, but I think for convenience to the witness, I wonder if I might be allowed to take him as my witness. No objection, Your Honour. Do you think he will be finished by 4:15? Finished with me by 4:15? We still have 2 or 3 minutes if you wish to start, Mr. Fitzgerald. Thank you. Right, and I'll just break again for a second, though there isn't much left now. That's it. So yes, he was listening to the Doors. And Mama Cass was playing on the record player. Yeah. Manson is supposed to have met Jim Morrison, but yeah, you try and convincing people of that. Everyone says no, but yeah, apparently there is a chance that he did. A good chance. It just got covered up. How many people he knew? Yeah. He looked up to Charlie, and all of these musicians seem to go through a phase of looking like Charles Manson. Well, Dennis Hopper I found pictures of Neil Young looking like Charles Manson. They all went through phases of doing this, didn't they? Yeah. That's it. So yeah, the door was open all night, and he was in there playing the Doors and Mama Cass. Linda. That was Linda. He went to Cielo and cried when she saw the dogs, because she said, "Why couldn't they have been here that night?" And they were there. Yeah. So why didn't the dogs do anything? Because people speculate that he ran off with the dog, with the big dog, and maybe, but the door was wide open. So yeah, the poodles must have just hid, I suppose. But yeah. Krenwinkel is supposed to have petted the LaBianca's dog, isn't she? After she'd murdered the owners, she was playing with their dogs, apparently. Didn't hurt the dogs. Yeah. Listening to the words. Yeah. Was there a band called The Words, though? Maybe there was. I can imagine there actually was a band called The Words. Oh, sorry, got a light cigarette. But yeah, and then he says the Mamas and Papas, but then he says, no, Mama Cass and the Doors. So yeah, I'd love to know what songs were possibly playing while people were getting chased around the swimming pool. God, the mind boggles, doesn't it? But yeah, but the fact he's playing the Doors was weird, yeah, because there is a connection between Jim Morrison and Charles Manson. But was he even really there? I don't believe he was really there, personally. I think he ran off when he heard everything kicking off. I don't think he was actually still there. Yeah. He bought guard dogs, yeah, so they were different dogs, yeah. Linda had seen the guard dogs, yeah. But the dog he had, I should have looked up a picture of that dog, shouldn't I, so I could show you, yeah. But apparently it's a big dog anyway. And apparently the door was open as well. Garretson said the door was open, so the dog could have run out at any time. But none of them mentioned a dog, do they? Well, except there's that weird bit in Susan's testimony where she says she looked out the window and saw a dog. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, there must have been a group called The Words at some time, mustn't there? Yeah. Hmm. So just staring at the channel. Yeah. Hit the like button if you're here as well, and subscribe to the channel if you've not subscribed already. Like I say, and I've got premieres coming up next week as well. Anyone who wasn't here when I announced that. Thank you for coming. Got 92 people watching, which is a good turnout. I know I haven't streamed for weeks, have I? But yeah, that's because of technical difficulties. And like I say, I'm just really busy, so I'm probably going to be doing less streams. But, there's still so much for you to be watching on playback. I need the views, because when you stream less, you get less views, so yeah, it really helps if you watch my videos. Yeah, it would have been unusual in '69 that he had a stereo record player with a connection for headphones. Yeah, most players then weren't that featured unless it was a very expensive unit. But he never mentions headphones, so I don't know where people were getting that from, because yeah, he never mentions it in his testimony anyway, that he used headphones. He just says he had it on medium, so it wasn't even very loud. That's the crazy thing. Yeah. Rudi was rich as well, though, yeah, and it was Rudi's house he was staying in, so maybe Rudi had a really expensive stereo. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And the door was open, but he never opened the windows. Yeah, and he was really vague about the weather. Everyone says it was really, really hot. But when he's asking him, do you remember if it was cold? He's going, oh, I don't know, which is weird as well, isn't it? Because everyone goes on about it, how hot it was at that time, and he doesn't know that. And he never opened any of the windows, though it was that hot. I wonder if he was really staying there all the time. If he was just saying he was staying there and checking on the dogs every now and then, maybe. Oh yeah, maybe it was the birds. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, they misheard. It was actually the birds. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. No headphones. He never mentions headphones. So yeah, I don't know where people were getting that from, because he doesn't say it. Right, now just let me read out the last bit, because it's not much more now. But this is, when he becomes Fitzgerald's witness. Right, let's get it on the screen. Would help. William Garretson, called as a witness by and on behalf of the defendants, was examined and testified as follows. Direct examination by Mr. Fitzgerald. Mr. Garretson, would you state again your business and occupation during the months of July and August of 1969? Just July and August. Just July and August, yes. I took care of 3 dogs. And I take it you were paid a salary, correct? Yes. And you were under the employ of one Rudi Altobelli, correct? Yes. He actually owned the guest house. Yes, he and Miss Tate. So far as you know, he was in Europe at the time, is that correct? I'm not sure, he might have been in Ireland, I don't know. Let's stretch it and say Ireland is Europe. Well, he might have been in Italy in Europe, yes. You were taking care of his dogs in his absence, yes? And you have been so employed since approximately mid-March of 1969, through and including August the 9th, is that correct? Yes. During that period of time, did you know he was living in the main house? You mean during those months? Yes. Did you also know of some of the personnel who worked there? Winifred Chapman, did you know her? Yes. Did you also know the gardeners? Yes. Were you friendly with any of the gardeners? Yes. And their name was Vargas, is that correct? I know their name by Tom and Dave, they are brothers. Did you ever use the pool in the vicinity of the main house? Yes. Did you ever see other people using the pool? Yes. Did you see the people that lived in the main house using the pool? Yes. Did you ever see what appeared to be parties in the evening in the location of the pool? The only party that I remember is that they had a very large party in, I think it was June. When you say they, who are you referring to? The people that lived in the main house. For the sake of the record, was that Sharon Polanski? No. Mrs. Polanski? No, it was Abigail Folger and Frykowski that threw the party. Actually, it was your impression that Mr. Frykowski was, in fact, the younger brother of Roman Polanski. Is that correct? Yes. You didn't realise that his name was Frykowski and he was not related to Mr. Polanski? Yes. You later discovered that? Yes. And did you see numerous visitors to the location of the main house during the months of March, April, May, June, July of 1969? No, I wouldn't say numerous. Would you describe it for the jury? I really couldn't say. I didn't keep track of who came and who left. I mean, maybe they had a few visitors, you know. Maybe a few visitors, but not very much, no. Did it appear to you that Sebring was a frequent visitor at that location? Had you seen his black Porsche there frequently? Yes, when Mrs. Polanski came back, yes, it was there. Do you recall when she came back? 2 weeks to a month before the incident? Would it be unusual for you to see a number of people, let's say 7 or 8 guests or acquaintances, in the vicinity of the main house near the pool area, or in the pool area in the evening, during the months of March, April, May, June and July? Mr. Stovitz, at one time, counsel, or all? Mr. Fitzgerald, at one time. Answer, you mean 7 or 8 around the pool or what? Yes. Answer, I don't believe I ever saw that many. No, around the pool. The court. Mr. Fitzgerald, we will adjourn at this time until Monday at 9:45. Ladies and gentlemen, do not converse among yourselves, nor with anyone else, or on any subject relating to this case, nor form or express any opinion regarding this case until it is finally submitted to you. 9:45 a.m. Monday. Mr. Stovitz, would Your Honour order this witness back for Monday, please? Yes, you are ordered to return Monday, Mr. Garretson. Yes, sir. Whereupon, at 4:18 p.m., the court was adjourned. And he never comes back. The next volumes of the transcript are all Linda Kasabian. So you never hear any more from him. But yeah. So that's it. That's everything he said, basically. Yeah. Yeah, and he thought, that Wojtek was Raymond's younger brother, apparently. But he, of course, wasn't. He found that out later. Yeah. So why would he need a jacket? I suppose they were trying to catch him out, weren't they? Because it was meant to be really hot. Yeah, so it's really weird. That's it. In all the photos, they're all walking around in their underwear as well, aren't they? Yeah. Maybe that's why he needed a jacket. Because it was getting chilly at night. Walking around in his underwear all the time, like everyone appeared to be in all these photos of Cielo Drive. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, just looking at the chat. Yeah, a lot of the hippies in the 60s might not have owned a jacket. He said he did own one, though, didn't he? Yeah. 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 All right. Oh, you've missed an hour. I've just finished reading it all out as well, yeah, so you've missed the whole thing, basically. We'll go to an after show scene. But yeah, this has been good. Well, I've got 105 viewers, though. Wow, thanks for coming, everyone. And that's it. Yeah, what was he doing during the dueling? And is this party in June when the dueling happened as well? Because I've heard that people have said that, because what Dennis Hopper says that it happened 3 days before the murders. And he was the first person to talk about it, wasn't it? But other people say it was during this party in June that dueling incident happened, the rape of Billy Doyle. So I don't know now, because yeah, when we finally nailed what Dennis Hopper said it was only 3 days before the actual murders. Or was it way back in June? Who knows? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he does. Who was paying Barry Tarlow for him as well? Yeah, that's it. Oh, thanks. That was it. Read it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure. I'm not going to start over again. No, that was knackering. Yeah, contradicting and lying. Yeah, he is very evasive, and like I say, he won't even say it was hot. And he says he never had the windows open, never opened the windows. The whole thing just sounds off. And he says he never knew Stephen Parent because, yeah, we have this thing about them all knowing each other. This is what the houseboy mafia, we were calling them the pool boy mafia, but they're actually referred to as houseboys in all the police documents and in court. But yeah, there's a weird number of these apparent houseboys, whatever the hell that means. Harrigan and Doyle had a houseboy, and Rudi Altobelli and Tex Watson appears to have been living at Dennis Wilson's under that sort of capacity at some point. So we theorise that they all knew each other. But he says there that he only ever met Stephen Parent once before he gave him a lift back to the house. And then he showed up to offer him a car radio at nearly midnight. Which just sounds off, doesn't it? But yeah, a lot of people think, yeah, they probably knew each other more. And that it's a gay thing. They were covering up some kind of secretive gay scene that was going on around Hollywood at the time and up at that house. And Rudi Altobelli is still really cagey about answering questions about it. If you watch that, where I react to Tom O'Neill's video about Stephen Parent, Tom O'Neill plays some of the interviews with Rudi Altobelli, and he's still really cagey about answering, and he won't admit or confirm anything, you know. But yes, a lot was obviously being covered up there, and they were scared to talk. Yeah, that's it. That's what they're trying to suggest. Yeah, they were just general odd job people, and he says he was just there to care for the dogs. Yeah. Well, this is it. No one needed to turn the doorknob. Apparently the door was open, he said. The door was wide open. It's crazy. Yeah. So, yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I thought, he's going to say, oh, yeah, well, the doors were locked or something. But no, he had one of the doors open so the dogs could get in and out. It's crazy. Yeah, well, they say this, don't they? They say Krenwinkel went up to the house and turned the door handle. But the door was apparently open, he said. So she didn't need to do that. Yeah. Yeah, that's what a lot of people speculate. Garretson and Parent were hooking up, and Garretson was at least gay for pay. But they were about the same age as each other, weren't they? So maybe it was a relationship rather than, prostitution amongst those two. But how did they meet each other? He denies it. He says that Parent just gave him a lift one day, and that was the only way he knew him, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, the back door was open. So, yeah, if they really checked the guest house, they could have found an open door. So she didn't check it very thoroughly, did she? There was a door wide open. Yeah. Yeah, maybe he met him during the gap where he'd gone to get his TV dinner and his bottle of Pepsi Cola. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Don't you get mosquitoes out there? Yeah, that's the other thing, yeah. I don't remember seeing a screen door anywhere. Yeah. Yeah, and Garretson just couldn't remember the script, so he was just having to say, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, the interview the priest that identified Parent gave was really weird, and the phone ringing in the background that he's just not answering. It's like, for God's sake, take the phone off the hook or something. Yeah, but he's just letting the phone ring and not answering it while Tom O'Neill's trying to interview him. It's crazy. Yeah. Parent's sister said the radio sale was a ruse and he had to work extra to buy it for her as a gift, allegedly. Yeah, well, it must have been. It's a weird time to go just to offer to sell someone a clock radio as well, isn't it? That explanation has never really stood up to scrutiny, has it? It's weird. Unsolicited as well. He hadn't even asked him for a clock radio. And he didn't come across as a really rich dude, did he? Why would you assume that he had the money to buy a clock radio on him at midnight? It's quite strange, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, well, I read out articles about what they found, and I don't think they did find hashish. I think that was a false rumor. I found articles saying, that some gossip magazine had said there was a load of hashish there, but actually there wasn't hashish found, or not in the quantities that they said it was. Yeah. Yeah, O'Neill recorded Altobelli being extremely evasive when questioned about how Rudi first met Garretson. Yeah. Like I say, I did a stream where I played that video, and you can hear, Rudi Altobelli trying to play down it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he'd come to show him his clock. Know what I mean? Yeah. They were clocking. Yeah, the phone ringing. It's crazy, yeah. But when you listen to the Tom O'Neill video, yeah, he just leaves the phone ringing and he won't take it off the hook or anything. He just won't touch it. Oh, you've shown up right at the end as well. I'll go to an after show in a minute because, this is over an hour now. But I got it all read out. That's good. Yeah, and thanks for coming, everyone. Got over 100 people here, which is massive for me. Yeah, like I say, make sure you've clicked like on the video and you're subscribed if you're not already subscribed. And turn notifications on. And watch out for the premieres. Yeah. Yeah, and the priest says, he knows who's calling, and he just won't answer it. It sounds like it's someone trying to stop them. Trying to prevent him from talking, ringing to say, "Oh God, that Tom O'Neill's about to ring you. Don't talk to him." That was the impression I got anyway. And the guy was so old, maybe he just didn't know to just take the phone off the hook, so the guy couldn't keep ringing or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, that's worth watching if you haven't. The Stephen Parent stream that I did. You just search for it on my channel. You should find it, yeah. And there's just Tom O'Neill's video as well, where he just played those interviews. Crazy stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of shady stuff about Stephen Parent that Tom O'Neill uncovered. Yeah. Well, Altobelli testified Manson showed up at the guest house on the evening before Rudi left for Italy. So what could he have possibly met him? Yeah, because I haven't read what Altobelli said even yet in the transcripts. I'd have to look because the transcripts of what he said are there, or some of what he said is there. If there aren't bits missing. Yeah. The after show. I'll just look for the notification of it starting. When I finish this one, I'll start an after show. But then they don't stay up. I take them down afterwards. But yeah. So you just have to be there to see the after show, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but no, it will start after this one, basically, yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, like I say, I can't believe how many people are here. That's a lot for me. Yeah. Yeah, refresh. Because there'll be a break of a couple of minutes while I get up and stretch my legs and make another cup of tea and that, and then it'll start up. And it'll probably carry on for a little while. Yeah, well, because it's 1:10 here now, and I want to get to bed pretty soon. But I'll keep going for a little while longer as an after show. Yeah, I'll end this one now because it makes it easier to edit for me. And I'll start an after show. Oh, sorry, what was that? Yeah. Garretson is vague, evasive, and lying. Yeah, it's the overall conclusion, of what he said. Isn't it? Yeah. It's all very weird. Yeah. And thanks for coming, everyone. And I'll start an after show. in a couple of minutes. Just give me a minute to make another cup of tea and all that. And yeah, hope to see a few of you there, because God, there's 102 people here now. And thanks for coming, it really helps the channel.